This week, we're going to learn about clinical content analysis. The title of this PowerPoint is actually called Gold versus Fool's Gold. And really what that means is, how do you know whether the paper you're reading is actually really good, is actually gold, versus how do you know whether the paper you're reading is not good? It's fool's gold, so it's not good. This PowerPoint is actually created by Johnson & Johnson. And I think it's an excellent PowerPoint that summarizes how you know whether a paper is good or whether a paper is bad. So let's begin. In this PowerPoint, we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at the context, so what is included in a paper. We're going to look at the content. How do you know whether the stuff that's written in the paper is good? And we're going to look at professional application. How does this apply to us when we're working as a dental hygienist? So this is a summary of what we had talked about before. When you look at a journal, the very top part is usually the publication. So here it says trials. It could say Journal of Dentistry, Journal of Dental Hygiene. It's basically the journal's name that's found at the top. Then we'll see a title. We'll see the authors. And again, you want to make sure that the authors are credible. You want to make sure that the authors have credentials, have dental credentials. We also have a date, so when it was published. And if you look over here, it actually says that it was received in March and then accepted in December. It's received March 2008, I think, and accepted December 2008. When you see two dates, you know that it's been peer reviewed, and we talked about this last time. So we like to see papers that are peer reviewed, where other experts in the field have looked at this paper, have given feedback about this paper before it has been published. So peer review is great. And when we see things like this, when we see two dates, we know it has been peer reviewed. So as you know, in a paper, in a journal article, there are usually 6 major sections: the abstract, the introduction, the methodology, the results, discussion, conclusion, and references. And we're going to look at this again in a lot more detail. So abstract, as we said last time, is a summary. And in the abstract, there are 4 sentences or four main points that should always be listed. They should always say the objective of the study, the main reason of the study. They should talk about the methodology, so how they plan on doing it. Are they doing a survey? Are they getting people to rinse with fluoride? What exactly are they doing? Then they would talk about the results. And the results is whether the treatment works. So did fluoride work or did fluoride not work? And then they summarize the conclusion. They make a conclusion and they summarize the whole paper in that conclusion. So introduction, so after the abstract comes introduction. And in the introduction, they talk about why they want to do the study. And they talk about how it would contribute to the overall body of scientific knowledge. So how what they're studying, what they're researching, will help with the scientific knowledge. So after you read the introduction, you need to think critically. You need to ask yourself these questions. You need to ask what research influenced the author's decision to engage in the described study. What questions are the authors answering through the study? So basically, when you read the introduction, you want to ask yourself if you fully understand why the researchers are doing this research. What is the reason behind why the researchers are doing this research? After the introduction, there's the materials and methods, or the methodology section, and this is probably the most important or the most heaviest section for this PowerPoint, because it's going to look at many different sections that could be discussed in the materials and methodology section. So when you're reading the materials and methodology section, you may come across the word subjects. And subject means participants. How many people participated in the study? Were there 10 people? that participated in the study, or were there 1,000 people that participated in the study? So research subjects are how many people participated. And in the material section or in the methodology section, they will have these information, or they should have these information. They should talk about the demographic characteristics of the subject. Demographic characteristics may look at gender, so how many males, how many females. It could look at education, what's their educational background. It could look at socioeconomic status. It could look at religion. It could look at nationality, right? It could look at age. There's so many different information that could be given to you. Then they look at sample size, and sample size is basically how many people participated. Were there 10 people? Were there 20 people? Were there 1,000 people? That's sample size refers to the number of people. Also, when they're doing their research or their study, they may choose to have an inclusion criteria or an exclusion criteria. And what that really means is that if I was doing a study, I may have an inclusion criteria where I'll say that anyone between the ages of 18 to 45 can come in my study. So that's my inclusion criteria. I want people in my study who are between the ages of 18 to 45. Exclusion criteria, maybe I want to exclude those that are 0 to 17 years. Maybe I want to exclude those that are 46 years and above. So exclusion criteria are people that I don't want to include. Sometimes you'll see people who have severe medical conditions. They will be excluded from the study. In the methodology section, they'll talk about treatment. They'll talk about these 4 points, and I'll explain these using an example. Let's say there's a new drug that came out, and let's hypothetically say that this new drug is great for weight loss. So if I wanted to lose weight, I could take this new drug and I would lose weight. Now, before I actually distribute this drug to everyone, I need to do a study to make sure that this drug is safe and effective. So I find people that are willing to take this drug, and I tell them about the treatment. So I tell them that there's a drug that's out there that will help with weight loss. I tell them the treatment dosage, which is you're going to take this drug and it has 20 milligrams. Like hypothetically say that this pill is 20 milligrams. So the dosage is 20 milligrams. The pill is 20 milligrams. I will tell them the frequency, 1 time a day. Right? So in this hypothetical example, you are to take this pill, that's 20 milligrams, 1 time a day. Not 2 times, not 3 times, 1 time a day. So the frequency is how often do you want to take the pill? I'm going to say 1 time a day. And then the duration. And I might say that for 1 year, I want you to take this pill for 1 year. Okay, so the treatment should be listed in the methodology section, and it should be very detailed. You want to talk about how exactly the treatment will be provided. You want to talk about the dosage, how often, and how long. Now, there are many different ways you could do the study. And so study design looks at how the study has been done. And so sometimes you may hear of parallel design. And parallel design means that I have 2 groups of people. I have group A and group B. And I'm going to give group A this drug, and this drug is supposedly going to help them lose weight. And I'm going to give another group a different drug, and I'm going to, again, assume that this drug will also help them lose weight. So here I have 2 drugs, drug A and drug B, where these people are getting drug A at the same time as these people. So these people are getting drug B, and it's happening at the same time. So today, let's just say today is May 26th. On May 26th, these people will get this drug. On May 26th, these people will get this drug. So parallel design means it's happening, they're both getting the drugs at the same time.